changes. The biggest thing here is that reverberation is no longer a talent. Half of reverb was built into his base kit. Thunderclap now just slows attack speed by 25%. And you can get the full version back at level 4. But the reality is it's not worth it. In the vast majority of cases, it's just not worth giving up the synergy of Thunderburn plus healing static. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna think about some builds here. The slower rotation from mounts makes Third Wind a little bit better because it guarantees it's gonna get you more health in between your rotations. Perfect Storm adds additional damage and block adds additional survivability. So you have out of combat healing, damage, and in combat mitigation. Those are the 3 level 1 talent options now. As a tank, I think block is the go-to here. Reverb used to be strictly better than block, but without reverb here, block is really the only survivability talent Muradin has this tier. If you want to go for damage, obviously you're going for Perfect Storm. It also has a little bit of a mana factor as well because it does reduce the cost by 25%. Muradin is a hero who you can spam his abilities quite effectively, but you do run out of mana very quickly. And Third Wind, which I still think is the worst one of these two. I think tank Muradin's going to take block. And here's where you're going to do a problem. You can get the full version of reverberation back, and it extends duration by 3 seconds. Or 2-3 seconds. The problem here is that Thunderburn reapplies the base version of Thunderclap that you already have. So do you want 25% attack speed reduction for 5 seconds, or do you want 50% for 3? Bearing in mind that the second area of Thunderburn also gives you healing static. Right, so for every single hero, for everyone who stands in the secondary area, you're going to get an additional 5% back. So if it was just, I'm giving up, 5% healing, but you're giving up often 10 to 15% healing per W to get that full W back. And mathematically, that's usually not worth it. And even if you're going for like a bruiser build, you're giving up the secondary proc of Thunderstrike as well, which also does apply with Thunderburn. So I think the new default build is going to be the old default build. It's just going to be a little bit worse. You're losing 25% attack speed to take block as a tank. Iron Forge Momentum, Avatar, Healing Static. Spell Shield did get changed to be significantly better, but Healing Static will heal you for more damage than Spell Shield will prevent in many cases, in most cases, actually. Especially if you're Avatar. And under those circumstances, the only reason Spell Shield will be better than Healing Static is if you were going to die from the burst damage. If you're not going to die from the burst damage, then Healing Static will heal you back up, right? For more than the damage that you would have saved by taking Spell Shield. In most cases. There are some exceptions. Like if you're up against Triple Mage, I actually think Spell Shield would be viable now for Muradin, but that's not very likely to happen. Imposing Presence also got changed, but you already have an attack speed slow built into your base kit, and it doesn't save you from as much damage as Stoneform will usually heal you for in a team fight because of Avatar. So again, if you're going for survivability, Stoneform I think is still the go-to, and Imposing Presence is just a never take on Muradin. Heavy Impact and Given the Axe are still both very, very strong talents. I've come to prefer Heavy Impact lately, a little bit, personally. And then either Hardened Shield or Rewind. If you're getting blown up, take Hardened. If you're not getting blown up and you want the extra mobility or healing, take Rewind. So the standard build for Muradin honestly didn't change very much. It's really just your level 1 talent that changed, which is kind of unfortunate. I really wish that, when they think about these talents, that more changes. But you can see there's the 1 proc and then the re-proc. I get an additional little heal there. So the standard build for Muradin hasn't changed. You're just basically giving up 25% of your attack speed slow in exchange for a different level 1 talent. So you get half of the level 1 talent plus a free level 1 talent after the change. That's kind of where Muradin is right now. My guide on MMO games for him will be updated to reflect this in the not too distant future. I just gotta do some calculations and see what the win rates look like, and talk to a couple of players, see what pro players, see what their evaluations of the talents are like. But the MMO games guide that is currently up for Muradin will be updated within the next week.